Barrier Fencing Supply is a fencing wholesaler and distributor based out of Supply, North Carolina. Whether you need fencing, fencing products, fencing accessories, or various other construction materials related to your fencing needs, we have the products you are looking for at today's most competitive prices around. Ask us today about bulk pricing packages. Call 910-269-8661. Contact us by email at sales@barrierfencingproducts.com. Barrier Fencing Supply, proud supporter of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast.
Fans, and welcome back to another Inside Edition of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. We just heard from one of our sponsors, Barrier Fencing Supply out of Supply, North Carolina, huge supporters of our show. Be sure to check those guys out. We are super excited to have them as a part of what we do. We're glad to have them on our team. So any fencing needs that you may need or anything at all like that, they have big bulk pricing packages. Check them guys out today. We also want to continue to welcome throughout the month of May a new sponsor that we have, Atwell Exterior Services out of Greenville, North Carolina. Glad to have them a part of us as well. We'll also hear from them as we end tonight's show. With us again tonight, he's another second-time guest here, Brandon Riffe, Series Director of the Modified Mafia Tour. And you know, Brandon, number one, before we get started, welcome back to the show, man. It's always glad to have you.
I appreciate you having us back on. We're always excited to get some news out there and be on the Voice of Victory Lane.
All right, man. Well, you know, it was just a couple of months ago, you and I shared a podcast together, and we're staring down the inaugural event of the Modified Mafia Tour. We visited Elm City, North Carolina, at County Line Raceway, and what we thought at that particular deal, and it still was a very big deal because it was the first race for the series. But man, you're going into a huge weekend this weekend, and man, you're staring down a huge weekend as you go to Bloomington, Indiana, a $10,000 race to win on Friday night. And then you go to Paragon Speedway on Saturday for another $3,000 event. And man, let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's tell everybody what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one of the biggest modified weekends of the year right off the bat here with us. So we'll be at Bloomington Speedway on Friday nights. We can't thank Jill and Bradley and everybody over there enough for having us a part of this big event. It's a Roddy Strong Memorial. It's $9,999.99 to win. Obviously, the winner in Victory Lane will get a penny to make it an even 10. It's $509 to start the race. It's $250 for the B main, so you get pretty much $250 just to show up. I think fast time is like $250 now. Hard chargers up to $200, so a lot of money on the line there Friday. And then Saturday we'll move about 40 minutes north there and go to Paragon. 3,000 to win, 200 to start for another you know, big night of racing in Indiana. So we can't thank, you know, Josh and everybody at Paragon for having us a part of that weekend too.
Well, it sounds like you've got a huge plan, a lot of money on the line here, not only for first place money, but also let's talk about the guys with Hoosier Drywall Specialists, you know, coming in for your dash for cash. Love it how you guys do that. You know, that's always one of the greatest parts of a series, man, that does not only when you do heat races and whatever, because that action is sometimes heat races are sometimes as good as the feature because people are just really digging as hard as they can go, you know, to get a better starting point for the feature. But man, that dash for cash deal is always super cool. I think it's what, $500 for the winner for that this weekend.
Well, it's a little different this weekend. So Friday it'll be the heat race winners will run their own dash, and that $500 is paid back through those dash cars. So it'll be $250 to win, and then it'll drop off from there for everybody that's in the dash. So everybody that's in the dash this week or this Friday will get money out of that $500. We can't thank John DeMoss and Hoosier Drywall and coming on board to help sponsor that.
Well, I knew that I had seen that, you know, following you guys on social media. You guys do a phenomenal job with how you promote what you've got going on, and also giving, you know, credit to the guys who help you pull off some of the things you do at various racetracks when you go. Man, I've looked at the list. kicking off this weekend on Friday night, man, you've got guys coming from Forest, Florida, from West Virginia. You'll have some North Carolina guys there, of course. But, I mean, and it looks like you have a ton. You are embarking on modified country in Indiana, man, because there's a lot of cars going to be there for this big event this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, obviously some of the best in the country are going to be there this weekend. We got guys from Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio. I'm sure, there's Midwest guys that are coming that we don't know about. I think we got a little over 30 confirmed with us, with our series that are confirmed to come. And I'm assuming obviously there's going to be people that we don't know about that's going to be there as well. So looking to be a big event. We were looking probably 50, 60 cars and maybe even bigger than that. Who knows? The weather's kind of playing a factor at the moment. It doesn't really know whether it's going to rain or it's not going to rain. So we're about 50% chance there on Friday. So I don't think that'll hurt too many cars from coming. Like a lot of guys like Austin and Jim Mankin, them are already on the Castrol Flow tour for the 2 days, and then they're going to be over obviously Bloomington Paragon with us this weekend.
Well, you almost already just kind of spoiled that for me there just a little bit. We were talking about all of the drivers from Florida to Georgia to West Virginia to Indiana, and talking about guys out of North Carolina. This is a get back in the seat tour, 3-day top deal for Austin Holcomb, driver of the 8A Prime Electrical Solutions, right there out of Elm City, North Carolina. Man, I know he just could not stand it that night that, you guys kicked off your first inaugural race at County Line and he couldn't run. But he's back in the seat, and I know he's looking forward to getting back going in that modified.
Yeah, I talked to Jimmy there a few days ago, and I think he turned some practice laps at County Line the other night, and kind of got a little more comfortable back in the car after his surgery. So and then they kind of made the spontaneous decision to go run the 2 Castrol Flow nights, and it's just to try to get a little more routine back in the car. He's been out of the car for a little while, so he's going to run those 2 Castrol events, and then he'll be back with us and obviously going to chase the points championship with us.
Also talking about North Carolina drivers who will be there. We had him on the show a week or so ago who pulled double trips to Racing for Heroes Victory Lane. Ty Norder in the 2TY. I think he's going out there to be with you guys too, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's debating on running for Rookie of the Year with us, which is really good. Ty's a very, very talented driver. I watched him at Charlotte last year for the short track championships, and very talented. He's got good equipment behind him, and we're excited to see how Ty can perform in the big motor UMP car.
Well, he is definitely a wheel man. He definitely has a lot of finesse behind the wheel, starting off, in go-karts and stuff like that, and just kind of moved right on up into the bigger cars with the modifieds. And he was so excited. He just never thought that he could ever pull off pulling, double duty like that, 2 back-to-back wins and holding off Donovan Jackson, who has really just kind of had it by the tail, at Fayetteville Motor Speedway for the 2023 season. And, man, those guys put on a show at Fayetteville during that Mid-East modified deal that we had. And it was a great show. And he was, so excited, man, to be on our show. We were glad to have him as well. But just not only is he a very talented driver, young guy, but very humble, man. And, I think he gets a lot of experience. I think he told me, he works with Longhorn. And so he does stuff for Ethan Dodson. And, Dodson will definitely be one to contend with this weekend as well.
Yeah, Ty's got some good mentors there with Steve and everybody at Longhorn, and being able to work with Ethan, which is arguably one of the best modified drivers in the country at the moment. So, and not doing too shabby in a late model already. So he's already picked up a win in the late model too. So, I mean, when you got talented guys and people around you like that, it always helps your racing program. But Ty's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the UMP for sure.
Yeah, and I even see Jeff Parsons, another North Carolina guy who's had multiple visits to Fayetteville Motor Speedway. He'll be with you guys this weekend as well.
Yep. Jeff's coming up. He's also doing the 2 nights at the Castro Flow Night in America. So he's doing those 2 events, and then he'll be over again with us on Friday, Saturday. But yeah, I mean, and Jeff's a wheel man too. He's driving pretty much anything that's got wheels on it at the moment. So I think he was in a little sport compact or a street stock or something the other night, and then he's obviously got the late model deal he's got going on too. Running for Rookie of the Year in that, and then obviously the UMP car with us. So yeah, he'll drive a bicycle if you let him race it. So
oh yeah, and he'll be a contender too. He's a one heck of a wheel man and a great competitor as well. So when we start talking about the 2-day Indiana swing, when we go to Bloomington, Indiana, and then Paragon Speedway on Saturday night, once these events are over at the conclusion of this weekend, what's next on the schedule for you guys, and what's going on after that?
After that, we'll have a week off, and then the following week will be Memorial Day weekend. We'll head to Winchester, Virginia, for a 2,500 to win, 200 to start show on Saturday, and then we'll head over to Potomac Speedway on Sunday, which will also be a 2,500 to win, 200 to start event. Looking for great car counts at those 2 racetracks. Greg and Denise and everybody at Winchester and Potomac are excited, and we're excited to get there. They always have a good car count on a regular night. So looking forward to getting that area, and that'll be another Northern Points event for us. And then after that, we'll head back to County Line.
Well, it sounds like you guys definitely have a great schedule ahead of you. And before we get off, we just want—I know you're busy, you're on the road, you're heading that way now. They're tying up all the loose ends. It is going to be a great weekend for you. Hopefully, the weather will hold out for you so that you can complete the entire Indiana swing. Let's talk about your series sponsors, man, that help you do what you guys do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we can't do this without everybody that's on board with us. VP, Bobby Taylor Oil Company, Prime Electrical Solutions, EquipLink Auction Group, Dynamic Drivelines, RTR, Stokes Apparel Company, Gen 3 Performance, which did an absolutely amazing job on our trailer. He wrapped the entire trailer that we work out of. We'll have pictures up of that soon. But yeah, Joseph is doing a lot for us, with our checks and our trailer getting wrapped and that type of stuff. So big shout out to Gen 3. Just everybody that's on board. I mean, we have all kinds of people that has helped out in different types of ways. And we got Down East Metal Fab, we got Club 69 Race Cars, we got Earl Ramey, Racing Engines, just everybody. It's a huge group, and I'm super excited to have all those people come together and get this thing up and going off the ground for us.
Well, I'll have to echo you on the deal when you start talking about Gen 3 Performance. Joseph Aaron Swan, a.k.a. Swanee, race director for the Steel Block Bandits. Great guy. And I've never seen him do any work, man, that was bad. Everything he touches, man, looks like gold. And yeah, he had told me about it. You've already told me about the trailer. I know it looks good, but he is definitely a huge race fan, a big part of motorsports in our area. Doing wraps for people, doing their team shirts and stuff like that. And he does a phenomenal job. And I know you're glad to have him on your side.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's he's knocked it out of the park on everything we've done so far with him, and looking forward to that partnership, going forward. So yeah, just I told him what I kind of wanted, an idea, and didn't have to change a bit. He sent me the proof, and I'm like, that's it. That's what we need. So very good at what he does, and just glad to have him part of our series this year.
Well, I know from my standpoint, I know exactly what you're talking about. You give him an idea and he runs with it. And again, just like you said, quote unquote, from Brandon Riffe, he knocks it out of the park. Hey, and also, we welcomed last week, as we began the month of May, a new sponsor that you're familiar with as well, Atwell Exterior Services, Trevor Atwell and those guys out of Greenville, North Carolina. He's come on, going to be a part of our show through the month of May through October. And I know he's helped you guys out and done some things thus far. And let's talk about him just for a quick second, because I love to promote him as much as we possibly can, not only for what he does, just for our podcast. He is a huge, huge part of sponsorship on lots of race cars, and he's a big modified fan as well. So I know you're glad to be connected with him too.
Yeah, absolutely. He's helped out quite a bit. The first two races there we had at County Line and Halifax, and obviously looking forward to doing more things with him in the future. But he's when you see him on Trev Jacoby's car, and he's on Kenny Wallace's car. He's doing stuff for the Dome. So he's obviously well known in the racing industry, and obviously super excited and super proud to have him on board with us as well.
Well, Atwell Exterior Services, proud supporter of the Voice of Pit Lane podcast, and we're so excited to have them as part of our team. Race fans, tonight we're talking with Brandon Riffe. He's the series director of the Modified Mafia Tour, and the Indiana Swing begins Friday night, running of the Roddy Strong Memorial in Bloomington Speedway on Friday night, and then Paragon Speedway on Saturday night. $10,000 up for grabs on Friday night, and a $3,000 show on Saturday night. So if you're in the area and you want to see some of the great modified drivers, some of the stars and cars of the Modified Mafia Tour, they're going to be in your area. Bloomington, Indiana on Friday night, and then go to Paragon Speedway on Saturday. Brandon, hey, listen, man, I was so happy to be able to catch you en route for the Indiana Swing. Hey, thanks for taking time, man, to make it on our show again tonight. And we always love having you guys to promote what you're doing.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us again. Like I say, we're excited to be on anytime you'll let us. So looking forward to a huge weekend and a huge season in general. So hopefully we can get back on here and give you some more good news.
That sounds like a plan. We wish you all the best of luck this weekend and through the remaining entire 2023 season. Hey, we're just getting started, really. So you got a whole lot of racing left to go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Brandon Riffe, series director of the Modified Mafia Tour, with the Indiana Swing coming up this weekend. And we thank them for taking time to be a part of our show. As we leave tonight's show, we're going to hear from Atwell Exterior Services, Quality Roofing. These guys do an awesome job. Be sure to check them out on Facebook, give them a like and a share. Team Atwell Racing. These guys are not only great at what they do in the roofing business, but the exterior servicing company. They're huge race fans, and they sponsor a lot of race cars. As Brandon said, they're involved with the Dome at the end of the year, one of the biggest races. Everyone look forward to going to it, and they're really part of sponsoring that as well. And as always, be sure to check out Voice of Victory Lane on Facebook. Give us a like and a share. And as always, be on the lookout. We could be coming to a racetrack near you, and you could be who we're talking about next right here on our show. So be sure to follow up for all the updates this weekend. It is the big Modified Mafia Tour going on this weekend. It's the Indiana Swing, Bloomington, Indiana on Friday night, and Paragon Speedway on Saturday night. We thank everyone for watching. We wish those guys the best of luck for a great show, and we will see you at a racetrack coming up soon. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.
Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell ride with a winner. Congratulations to Trevor Atwell and the team at Atwell Exterior Services in Greenville, North Carolina. Atwell is the top-rated roofing and exterior renovations company in racing country, and Team Atwell has sponsored so many great racing teams for years. Ride with a winner on your roof or on the track. Atwell Exterior Services. Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell Racing. Ride with a winner.